Hi and welcome. In this video, we're going to discuss Microsoft Access's built-in progress meter / progress bar. That is correct. Microsoft Access has a built-in progress bar. Now, and it can be automated through some very simple VBA. We're going to look at that in 2 seconds. So how does it all work? For those of you that aren't really aware of it, it's down here in the bottom right-hand side, next to where you see numlock, of the status bar. So we had in a previous video, we talked about changing the text in the status bar. Well, over on this side of the status bar, you can actually implement and utilize a progress meter. Okay, how does it work? Well, as you're going to see over here, I've split my window into two. So we have VBA showing at the same time as the actual GUI. But basically, we're going to utilize 3 different functions, 3 different procedures. And how it works is, the first one is we have to set it up. The second one is to actually run it. And the third one is to release it back to Access. So just very quickly, let's just show an example, then we can look at the code more in detail. But this is the initial setup. Boom, now you see it's shown up. But as you see, nothing is happening here yet. We just did that initial setup. Then we can come over here and we can do the updating of it, which is where we start utilizing it. And like, as you can see here, we can then go through a loop mechanism, processing records, processing files, whatever you're going to use it for. But as you can see, we can make it increment. And then finally, we take our last procedure to release it back and make it basically get removed. So how does this all work? As you can see in the code, it's very simple, typically just one line. But we're using these syscmds, and they're always syscmds related to the meter. You're going to keep seeing the word meter in these different commands. So the first one to initialize it is the command initMeter, in which you pass 2 other arguments. So you're going to pass the message, the text who show, and the maximum number of iterations that you're going to be going through. So it's going to basically allow it to divide that progress meter, progress bar, into X number of divisions. And then in your update, what you're doing is you're updating that meter, and you're going to give it the integer value of the loop that you're on. So let's say we're going to go over 80 different customer records. So it's going to subdivide that progress meter into 80. And then here in your update, you're going to be looping through it, going from 1 up to 80. And progressively, it's going to, you're going to see the progress bar grow and grow and grow. And it knows basically 80 equals, because your total amount is 80, is 100%. So it just does a simple ratio, right? Calculation. And the last one, it's simply the command RemoveMeter. It's pretty straightforward. There isn't much there. You'll also notice, because these are used in looping mechanisms, right? It's a very good idea to include the do events. And then obviously we add error handling to anything we create in VBA. That way we can control if errors occur, what happens, what messages get displayed to our end users, rather than just the default ones. Now, there is a problem with this approach. If you were wanting to do something more verbose, more informative to your users, let's say we're iterating over contacts in a database. Maybe we want to display what contact we're actually working on, rather than just one text. Because if you remember here, when we come here and we update, so we're going to go through our looping mechanism. We're at 1, and then we go to 2, and then we go to 3. Well, you see the text never changes. And there's no option with this command to change the text. Okay, so basically that text that you initialize with, that's what's going to appear for all of your looping mechanism, which isn't exactly ideal. Okay, in my personal experience, it's much more beneficial as much as you can to give information. You know, we're processing Ted, we're processing Alyssa, we're processing John, you know, make it show that there is something happening. Because a lot of times they'll look at it and they may say it looks like it's frozen, you know, the text isn't changing, even though the progress bar may be moving. So how do we get around that? Well, it's not the most ideal solution, but it is the only solution, is basically we have to come to this guy where we're going to set an update at the exact same time. So basically we're going to keep resetting the progress bar and updating its progress at the same time. So we're going to reinitialize and update in the exact same command over and over and over. And it's the only way that we can achieve updating the text. So if I give an example here, as you can see, so we've got our text, and now we can come along and index it, and now we're on to file 2. There you go, the text updated. Now we're up to file 3. Okay, so you get the general idea, but we have to initialize and update in the same procedure. Now the release function doesn't change, right? And we release it back to Access, and it can use it in its internal processes. Okay, how is that? Like I said, we're doing the 2 commands in one procedure. So we're going to come here, initialize it with our text. So now we can update the text every time we call it, but the max value will never change in reality. And then here we update it with the new loop iteration number, whatever that may be. So that's why here you'll see I've got my text, I've got the maximum number of iterations, and then here it's my current iteration that I'm on, the current value. So that's as simple and as complex as it can be. In reality, we don't really want to use these 2. This is the basic approach, sure, but in an ideal world, you're going to take, right, this. That's all you need, these 2 functions, and now you're able to work with this as much as you want. It's very straightforward, and all the code is there for you to copy. I hope this helps a few of you out there learn about another built-in functionality. If you find that this isn't always, you know, users often may overlook things in the bottom part of the screen. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. I also have other videos that show you how to make modal pop-up progress bars and progress forms that are, you know, you get them displayed centered right there. They can't miss them. And it often offers more lines that you can provide all sorts of information instead of just this one little line of text. If you go the route of using custom forms that you develop yourself, you can make them be, well, whatever you want in reality. So you have lots of options out there, but this is the built-in one that is really simple to use. As you can see, we're talking about 3-4 lines of code at the end of the day. We'll see you in the next video, everyone. Take care.